Okay, all right, looks like we are live now. If you can hear me, put your, just say okie dokie or yes or something in the chat box so I can see that you're here, that you can hear me. Okay, yes, okie dokie. Okay, good. All right, cool. I think it's right at the time for us to get started as agreed. Folks, I am not one to kind of keep things waiting. I know a lot of people, when they attend different events and things like that, they will show up late, and a lot of people start these webinars and trainings online and they start them a little bit late. Well, let's wait for more people to get on and all that stuff. Yeah, that's probably because they're selling something. I don't have anything to sell here today. I am just going to give you this training, and so with that, I am going to go ahead and begin it. If you hear a funny, like, kind of quacking noise in the background, it's because I'm recording this from my home, and I've got a duck that lives in my backyard, and so he's back there having a good old time. Yeah, so we'll get this thing started right now. A couple things I'd just like to mention. Obviously, this is a training, so just definitely go ahead and try to focus. I'm going to try to get through this one as quick as I can. This is not one of my longer trainings, so you should be able to stay focused for just a little bit. I am going to try to record this, so if you are here watching this now live with me, great. If not, no problem. That's fine. We'll just you'll be able to watch the recording. You'll see when we have it set up on our landing page. One of the options will be to select the yesterday's replay or something like that, and so you'll be able to see the recorded version of it, and and just go from there. Either way, in any case, there's a message box on the page where you can put in your questions, you can put in your comments, you can do whatever. And then what I will do, just because it's me today and I just want to kind of get right through this training for you guys, I am going to just answer the question, or I'm going to go through the trainings, put your questions in the box, and then depending on how long it takes, then I'll try to answer the questions live. If not, then what I will do is I will answer every single question that gets sent through the chat box, because it does email me as well when that happens. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and get moving right along here. So what we're talking, welcome to Every Door Direct Mail for Real Estate Online Training Series. Watch this free video. Okay, well, that's actually like a little promo for a video. A little bit about me. Just I've got about 20 plus years in the real estate sales side of things. I've coached and trained hundreds of agents. I've participated in over 1,200 closings. Okay, so I got a few tricks up my sleeve, and I'm going to share with you some of those. What I'm going to cover today is I'm going to cover what is Every Door Direct Mail, why use Every Door Direct Mail, how to get your Every Door Direct Mail, or how to use Every Door Direct Mail to grow your real estate business, and some other tips and tricks, getting a postcard out quick, picking the right farm area to mail to. Okay, so with that, let's just kind of jump right into it. I'm going to switch over to my page here, my Every Door Direct Mail page, and let's see where I'm at right now is I've gone to EDDM.USPS.com, and on this page here, this is the site where you do Every Door Direct Mail. What is Every Door Direct Mail? Well, what the post office has done is they've put together a program that allows you to send out what they consider saturation mail. So instead of addressing every single piece of property to an individual at a mailing address, you send out to an entire carrier route. Now, there's no, other than the post office, which is of course a government entity, there's no really rhyme or reason that I can figure out how some of these carrier routes are put together, because some of them just don't make any sense to me. But whatever, it is what it is. Here's the difference. First class mail, whatever it is, 46 cents. I don't know. I haven't sent out a first class piece of mail in years, so I don't even know what first class mail is. But I can tell you what Every Door Direct Mail is, and I believe right at this point in time of this presentation, it's 17.5 cents mailed out the door to every single person in that carrier route. So definitely a tool that you want to use, and what it's done is it's made it way more affordable for real estate agents to deliver a mailing into a community than it ever has been. Because even when I was delivering eensy weensy little tiny postcards, I was still spending a few $100s every single time just to hit 1,200 homes or whatever. And so what you want to do is you want to first of all, you need to have a farm area. And so what I'm going to do at the end of this training is I'm going to have a link to a video that shows you how to pick a farm area. Okay, I've had thousands of people watch the video, and it's about finding where there's turnover and no competition. Picking a farm area based on, ooh, those houses are pretty, you're going to be in big trouble. Because I know lots of areas where the houses are pretty and there's no turnover, or the houses are pretty and there's massive competition amongst several agents that are in there, and you're going to go try and break in and become quote unquote an area specialist. And I don't think so. Not to say it's not possible if you do the right things, but it's going to take a lot more time. I'll show you how to find the right farm area where there's good turnover and there's no competition. Just go there, And I'll give you an example real quick before I move on. I was farming some areas in my community where, they were higher end homes and they were, more in you would consider the luxury quality homes and things like that. But what ended up happening was, the market share and the competition was horrible. So it was really, really tough to get a listing in that area. I found an area in a few neighborhoods where the turnover was crazy. It was like, I want to say it was like 18% turnover or something. I don't even remember what the number was, but I know it was just way over the top. And there was no competition. Reason was because, this neighborhood wasn't necessarily a neighborhood that if I was just driving around, I would go, let me go drive through that neighborhood. No, not without, bulletproof windows and armor plating on the car, because it just looked like one of those neighborhoods. As it turns out, it wasn't so bad after all. But in the end, because nobody else was competing in that neighborhood, I probably picked up about a good 40-45% market share in that community. For a while, it ran for for a couple of years. Made lots of money doing that because I picked, it's the old saying, pick the ugliest house in the best neighborhood. Well, I picked the ugliest farm, that had the most turnover. So, and the least competition. So anyways, so you got to pick a farm area, okay? But once you've established a farm area, you can use every door direct mail. Or if you have a listing and you want to do a mailing around that listing, you can do that. I'm going to show you that right now. So for example, here's a property that I have a listing on. And so I'm going to click on, put that address in, and I'm going to click start. Oh, you do have to set up an account. I didn't show you that up in the top right hand side. Let's see. Yeah, right up. Okay, so I'm logged in. I already logged in because I didn't want to put up my account information. So sorry about that. But anyway, so what it did was it says my exact search was not found. Okay, that's fine because I'm not really worried about it. But a couple of things here. So I can put an address. It asks select delivery type. Now, you can do business and residential or residential only. Okay, if you look at the business and residential or residential only, there's some times when I go ahead and include business as well, because if I don't put, or because why not? I picked up business from people in 6 cities away because they drove to work in the area where I was farming to, and then they sent it out to, or then they went back home, which was 6 cities away. They said, oh yeah, can you come help us? Yeah, absolutely I can. In this case, I'm just going to do residential only. You can select if you want city, rural, highway, or P.O. boxes. I always take P.O. boxes off. It's kind of the same concept. I guess you could still market to P.O. boxes, probably because not a lot of people are doing it. But in this particular case, my real focus is on on homeowners. And so with PO boxes, yeah, just kind of, it's a little tough to decide whether or not somebody who has a PO box owns a home or not. Rural highway, my area, we don't have that, so it doesn't matter. I can check it or uncheck it. I guess I got to have it checked, or else it won't let me check city. Okay, that's fine. And then it adjusts the search radius. So what you see here is the map. Let's see if I can. Yeah. So the map right here, it kind of picked the property where I thought the address was that I was putting in there, and it automatically defaulted to 1 mile. Well, you can go 3/4 of a mile, half mile, or 1/4 of a mile. In this particular case, just for fun, I'm going to go 1/4 mile. I want to see, what's going on. So now if we look at this, we say in 1/4 mile around that subject property, it is saying that, kind of this whole carrier route is what covers that community. And yes, that is all land right there, and this is where my listing is, and all that stuff. But notice this: if I just wanted to mail to the properties on this street here, first of all, there's only 5 other properties, but over here there's a whole community. If I said just that neighborhood, well, then I'm only mailing to a few properties. If I include the whole carrier route, it's mailing over to this area. Okay, so is that a bad thing? Yeah, no, not really. I would rather mail 400, and if you look at this here, so let's say the 406. Okay, it says to mail this to 406 homes, that's $71.05. Let me get a little calculator here. So 71.05 divided by 406, so yeah, it's 17.5 cents per postcard mailed out. Now, one other thing I didn't mention was that these postcards, these are jumbo postcards. You cannot mail a little 4x6 postcard, not even allowed. You have to mail a large size postcard. We'll talk about that in a minute. I can include this area here too. Let me pull up another property. See if I can remember the address for it. Let's see. Okay. This is more of a traditional neighborhood. That one that I was in was says it's just searching for so it's not finding the Santiago Street 2539 Santiago. Let's see if the north part was throwing it off. Okay, there we go. So there, now it found it. If I zoom in here, again, it's defaulted to 1 mile. But let's say, I'm doing an open house or something. I want to do a mailer here. Maybe I only want to do to 3/4 of a mile and apply that. Now watch these numbers here. This should change when I hit the apply button. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. So if I'm in here and I'm looking at this, so the particular neighborhood that I'm looking at, it covers here to here. Now the freeway is right here. So notice this area over here turns purple also. Well, guess what? If I have to mail and I just want to mail into this neighborhood, it's going to get some mail over here too. So that's just how it goes. Okay. And then over here, because this is part of the neighborhood, but this is not. Well, okay, guess what? That's going to get mail too. And this I don't want to mail to over here. But let's say we want to mail to. Let's just pick those areas. So what we can do is we can go down here and I can say, okay, which community is that? Okay, so that's this carrier route 11. Okay, and I want to include that. So I click on that, and now it checks that box. So did you see that? So now it checked these boxes here, and you notice that now it's blue in that area. I want to include this, so now it checked that. Okay, so now that's pretty much the whole neighborhood that I want to mail to, And what it's telling me here is it's saying, okay, that is, oh wait, I'm sorry, I need to include that area too. Okay. And it's telling me, it says that those, that includes about 600 residential properties. So for $105 in postage, I can deliver to 600 properties. Oh, I'm sorry, total delivery addresses, is 1,547. So 1,547 again, divided by 270.73. Let's see, 270.73 divided by, you go 17.5 cents. Okay, so again, it's always 17.5 cents is what those cards are going to be. So if I want to mail to that whole area, then I'm in great shape. So if I wanted to, so now let's say I want to mail that. I've already got my postcard designed. I've already got everything ready to go. Then I just click on next, and it says, okay, great. When do you intend on mailing this? And let's say, let's say I've got everything ready. I'm going to mail it on Thursday. Now, me personally, when I do these type of mailers, I like to mail on Tuesday or Wednesday, because the rule is that they're supposed to have them out within 2 days, which is even better than bulk mail, because bulk mail, they don't have to have it out for up to 2 weeks. With this, they have to have it out within 2 days. So if I mail it on Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to be landing at people's homes on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that's kind of what I want. So, but for this example, well, let's just say, let's say we're going to mail it today. There's still time. Okay, and now I click on next. And so now it's telling me, okay, there's 4 different routes, and there's 2 different post offices. That's why it was giving me the 2 different amounts. 2 different post offices that I have to drop off to. So now this is the one thing about every door direct mail, is you have to drop off to the post office where it's being delivered from. Okay, and so when you have to deliver from to that post office, let's say, for example, you have to, let's see if it gives us a breakdown. Yeah, so the one post office is the King Street post office. Now I would have to take these, total that up and drop them off there, and then I would have to take this 217 of them and drop it off over at the Grand Avenue post office. Okay, you can't just take it to one post office. Now you can set up a business account. There's a fee for it, and there's a couple benefits to that. Number one, I believe, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked totally into that, but I believe you can drop it off at one post office. And number two, it actually brings the cost down, I believe, to 16 cents per card. Per card mailed out. So this is really important to understand here, this check mail piece size requirements. Now let me tell you something right now. This is government stuff, and so because of it, it's all confused. It is really confusing. When I first started doing those, it was just crazy. I couldn't even figure out, wait, this size is supposed to be that big, and that side's supposed to be that big, but if you're, a rocket scientist, it has to be a different size. I don't know, whatever it was crazy. I'm going to show you how to just figure out what the best sizes are to use anyway. So you click on I understand and I agree. You can pay online or pay at post office. I always pay at the post office. You just never know. By the time you get your cards and you go, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with them, or something changed or whatever, and you can't pay. I just pay at the post office. I say, okay, there you go. Click on pay at post office. And then what it's going to give you this order confirmation. And now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to download the mailing statement and the facing slips. Okay, so basically what the mailing statement is, I'll take a look at it right now. So here's the mailing statement, and it has the details of what's being delivered. So this post office, it's coming from me. It's going to where's the post office? Mailing. Okay, the mailing. Oh, King Street Post Office, and it's going to have about what they consider 4 flats. Okay, just because you're going to break it up into, roughly 500 piece. 250 piece bundles, give or take. I don't know. I mean, they're not really strict on that. But so now you just take this form. It's already filled out with your information. You sign it. You drop it off at the post office with your mailer, and then it gives a breakdown for them. You need to deliver this as well. How many are going to each each carrier route, because they literally take 371 cards and they hand it to that carrier who delivers 371 cards to that carrier route. They don't check addresses, names, or anything like that. There is no names on it, and so there's no, so you can't do anything with that. Okay. Let's see. So that's the mailing statement. That's for the King Street Post Office. The same thing is here down here for the Santa Ana Post Office, or for the for the Grand Avenue Post Office. And then there's facing slips. So in this particular case, there's one route, and there's going to be, 1, 2, 3 different routes. So you're going to break it up, and you're going to say, hey, in this route, according to the slip, the other slips that you have, there's X number of pieces. So let's say this carrier route 6 is going to have whatever it was, 371 pieces. You put 371 pieces with this form in one of their flats, and you deliver that. Okay, and then the next one, and the next flat, and the next one, and the next flat, and so on. So you take these, you print these out, and you have them all ready to go, and then you print all the, or you can print all the forms, and make your payment at the post office. Okay, so let me go back over here for a sec. So again, the question is, so that's kind of what EDDM is and how to use it. It's really not that hard. The question is, why use EDDM? Well, first of all, there's a couple reasons. Number one, not a lot of agents are using everyday direct mail. A lot of them aren't using postcards anymore. I've seen a little bit of an increase, but I remember, back in the day, everybody, if you weren't doing postcards, you were not in business. If you were not doing direct mail somehow, some way, getting in front of people, either that or you're out knocking on doors every single day, you were not in business, because and as well as newspaper advertising. You remember those things, newspapers? You just didn't have a choice. Now I know by doing mailers, you could very easily establish yourself a reputation of an area specialist, because again, if we go back to, let me pull up that calculator again. Let's say we have, oh wait, where'd it go? Okay. Let's say we have a farm area, and that farm area has 200. By the way, the minimum you can do is 200 mailers. So let's say it has 250 in the mail area. So let's say your farm only has 175. I don't know, but because of the way the carrier routes overlap, maybe your mailer is 250. Okay, so 250 times 0.175 equals $43. Okay, this is where it gets people, because they go, wait a minute. I can mail out 250 postcards for $43? Absolutely. And my recommendation is always, if you're trying to establish yourself as a brand, one of the things they say is people got to see your name over and over and over. We already know that, right? And so why not set up a budget on that next deal you close? Take $1,000, because you're going to have printing costs. Take $1,000 and put together a postcard campaign that you're going to mail out every single week for 8 weeks. Okay, so let's multiply that times 8. Okay, that's only $350 in postage. If you're taking $1,000, we'll figure out printing costs here in a few minutes. But if you're taking $1,000 and you're going to deliver for 8 weeks, then you're going to gain top of mind awareness. Okay, and so definitely it's something worth doing. If you can do it longer, do it longer. Okay, so why use EDDM? Again, nobody else is doing it. It makes you stand out. You can deliver your message. Now there's branding messages. So when we're talking about using EDDM to grow your real estate business, there's branding messages. Area specialist, area specialist, area specialist. Okay. Sending out your unique selling proposition. Maybe you're the horse property expert. Maybe you're the condo king. Maybe you're whatever it is. Okay. But I'm going to show you a postcard that I use that gets a great return and gets me, it gets me business. Okay, so if let me go back over here, and actually I didn't have it open. Darn it, I'm gonna have to find it. So bear with me for a sec. Let's see, is it here? No, darn it. But there's a postcard. One of this postcard that I send out is the, how much is my home worth? Now I know it's cliche, and I know in the real estate business that's a very I don't know, overused. They're always saying, always tell people, how much is your home worth? How much is your home worth? And I've actually had agents tell me that, it's, people are tired of hearing that. They're tired of hearing that. Wrong. You got to change the way you think about it a little bit. And here's my postcard now. You got to think about it a little bit different, because what happens is these people, they're not receptive to it until they're ready to be receptive to it. Okay. So they're not looking at, how much their home is worth until they're ready to sell. Otherwise, maybe they're interested as, just kind of in their community, what's going on. But otherwise, no, they don't care really. And so they're not receptive to it. But you've mailed them 100 times. They've never responded. All of a sudden, honey comes home from work one day and says, guess what, sweetie pie? We're being transferred to Texas. We got to sell the house. Now they're receptive. Now they're ready, right? And now your postcard is sitting in the door. Now my postcard is not an exciting, beautiful, wonderful postcard, but I'll tell you what it does do. It says, find out what your home is worth, what it's really worth for free at ochousevalues.com, or call this number. Now, I don't use the number anymore. That was a test that I was doing. I wanted to see if people would call the number. And I did get a few phone calls, and that was good because I was able to get a phone number from them. But, it was just from the few handful that called were mostly looky-loos. Or, they just wanted to find out what their house was worth. They have no plans on selling. And so, good, bad, or otherwise, they do go into my database, my top producer database, which, by the way, if you're not using top producer in your business, stop messing around with all the other stuff that's out there. Everybody's trying to say, oh, they're the best and they're new and they're easier to use and all that good stuff. Whatever. Top producer's been around forever. That's what I've been using since 95, I think. And it's made me a lot of money because it keeps me on track, keeps me focused. So anyways, you see the postcard, just, I'm just telling them, find out what your house is worth, okay? Your home's free market evaluation include an estimate of your home's current value, the 3 most comparable properties that recently sold near you, and a suggested listing price in case you plan on selling. So, and this is a key thing. I added this. This is something that I tested. Before you sell or refinance, because I do loans as well, but before you sell or refinance, find out what your home is worth. Because what was happening was I was getting a lot of requests for people, and they had no plan on doing it. But now I think a lot of people kind of read that and they go, okay, before I sell or refinance, well, I'm not selling or refinancing. I'm not gonna get that. So you decide what your goal is. Is your goal to just get all the leads within the community, which is a good goal, or only get listing leads? There are two different goals. Okay. And so let's say if you don't have a website that can do this, you get Market Snapshot from Top Producer at tpdeals.info. You go to tpdeals.info is a reseller site that you get the absolute best prices of anywhere that has Top Producer products. So, and it's, I don't mind saying it's my site. So definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. So you send them to a top producer login. Guess what? Somebody goes to your website. They log in to find out what their house is worth and keep up on what's happening on market sales in their neighborhood, now they're in your database. And now you can market to them, and now you can stay in communication with them, okay? So very, very valuable, and this message works. What's your house worth? Every single time, okay? Here's the back, or the front, however you want to look at it. Find out what your home is really worth for free at ochousevalues.com. The market has changed. Find out how it has affected your home's value. Now look at right down here. You've got yellow. Oh, there we go. You've got, this is the mailing address. So I want you to see it says local, postal customer, ECR, I forget what the E stands for, but carrier route, blah, 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 saturation, something or another. Anyways, that's all it is. So it's really crystal clear that it's not personalized and not, direct. People don't fall for that whole, oh, look, it's a personalized letter to me, mail merge kind of thing. Yeah, they know what's advertising now. You know what I mean? So there was a time when we were doing mail merge, it was like, wow, that was groundbreaking. My name's actually on the letter. That's incredible. Okay, anyways. So yeah, so you can see that is what's on the postcard, okay? And then over here I have the template, and I got the template from gotprint.com. I'm going to show you how to decide what size to do your postcard in here in just a minute. Let me pop over here. Okay, so what is EDDM? We covered that. Why use it? Again, nobody else is doing it. And how to use EDDM to grow your real estate business. Again, I'm telling you, if this is your first mailer out of the gates, that's the one that you want to go for, is the what's your house worth, because you're going to get those listing leads. Let's see. I want to see something here, because what I did was I sent out, let's see, how do I figure this out? I sent out 10,000 postcards, and out of 10,000 postcards, so figure that times 0.175, oops, 0.175. So it cost me $1,750. Now this was just a blast. This is a one-time blast, okay? Because I was doing some testing. So I sent out 1,750 postcards. I spent $1,750, 10,000 postcards. Out of that 10,000, I got, I want to say it was 28 people. Not huge. That's not huge. What's that divided by 10,000? That's like 0.2% of a response. Okay, not huge, but as far as direct mail goes, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So I got 28 people who responded. Said, yeah, I want to find out what my house is worth. Out of 28 people, on one mailer, I managed to pick up 6 different listing appointments. On the 6 different listing appointments, I picked up 4 listings. Okay, on the 4 listings, 3 of those properties sold. Gross commission earned was somewhere in the neighborhood of $56,000. So, you got to look at it from the standpoint of, if I'm spending $1,750, but I make $56,000. Wow, Now that's just the postage cost. There is the print cost. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. Because I don't want you to be shocked. I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I didn't think about the printing cost. Okay. So here's some tips to get it out quick. Okay. So first of all, what I think you need to do is you need to find a place that will print the postcards for cheap. And let me tell you something. I've explored everything. I've gone everywhere and found everybody who does printing. And gotprint.com is by far the cheapest printer out there. And more importantly, the quality is superb. I'm going to tell you, I've been using them now for several years. I've referred hundreds, if not thousands, of people through my videos, anyways, to them. I don't get a penny for it. I refer it because I believe it. And everybody always says, well, I know, I came across this website. What's so funny is that I had somebody who had one of those websites, and they're just a broker. And they were running they're printing through gotprint.com because it's so cheap. They said, when I talked to him, he said it was cheaper for him to run the printing through Gotprint than it was any of his other broker affiliations. I actually had a printer tell me it was cheaper to quote somebody a business cards and then print them through gotprint.com and then just make it just do the markup on that. So it's cheap. It's cheap. But here's the thing. So I want you to understand. Let me just go to their homepage here. So when you land on their homepage, there's all kinds of stuff, and they talk about Every Door Direct Mail. Now they have a service. There is a service here, and you can decide if you want to use that or not. It's up to you. Every Door Direct Mail is so easy, so easy. And request some samples. I think you'll like what you get. But if you come over here and say, I want to do a postcard, and you come over here and say, oh, what are EDDM eligible sizes? You click on that. Now, it's going to give you some details on EDDM. It's going to tell you how it works. Let's see. And so, it doesn't, does it have the, download our EDDM mailing templates. Okay. So you can click there. Now there's the other way to get there too. But here's EDDM postcard. So I want you to look at these sizes that are available. So the smallest size, 4x11. Okay, that's kind of like a little long, narrow strip kind of thing. But you can download, depending on what software your graphic designer is using. If you don't know what they're using, just download the JPEG one, and they can overlay it. Don't worry about it. 4x11 goes to 6x11, 6.5x12, 8x10, 8.5x11 is an approved card. 9x12. Bigger than a regular sheet of paper that you print on, 9x12. It doesn't matter what size you choose. The postage, 17.5 cents. Or if you have the business account, I think I just read it was as low as 15.7 cents. So definitely take advantage of doing this. So let's go look at some of the pricing now. So again, you come here to gotprint.com and you say postcard, and then I'm sorry, just go to pricing to give you an idea of what the pricing is. So postcard, and it's going to ask you what size. And I think the one that I use, and you see it'll have EDDM eligible. Okay, so you're the right size. Are these the only definitive sizes that are available through EDDM? No, they're not, because there's probably thousands of different configurations you can come up with. These are the ones that they picked and said, you know what, these are probably a good selection of what's available. I totally agree. I'm not, if one of my postcards is a 1/4 inch bigger or 1/4 inch smaller, who cares? What I care about is the message that's on the postcard, and that's why they sell your home. Find out what your home is worth. The message is so important. But so the one that I did there was, I think it's the 6.5x9. Okay, so 6.5x9. I'm going to choose a 14-point gloss cover, coated, real slick, color on both sides, and it's going to ask me how many I want. Now, remember we talked about just doing 250 of them for $43. Well, if I just do 250 and I do the proof online, the cost to print these is more than the cost to mail them. Can you believe it? But still, $250. 250 of them for $96. So let's see, 96.45. Oops. Divided by 250 equals 38 cents per postcard to print them. If you add the 17.5 cents, it's 56 cents out the door. But let me show you something. See, Gotprint is all about quantity. So if you're going to do like the find out what your home is worth, print more. I'm going to show you why. 1,000 postcards. It's $124. So while it went up only $24, you got 750 more postcards. Let's break that down. And I know you guys who are doing math in your head are sitting there going, dude, it's 12.4 or something. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. So 12.5 cents. So it went from 38 cents to 12.5 cents by ordering more. Okay. So one of two things: increase your farm area so that you can mail more to, mail more postcards, keep your costs down. So now when you add this, plus 0.175, now you're under 30 cents per postcard for a high quality postcard into your neighborhood, into whatever area you're trying to get business from. 30 cents per postcard. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. So to mail 1,000 postcards, let's say $124.70, and then times 1,000, right? We know it's $175 plus 124.70. Okay, so for $300 you can mail 1,000 postcards out the door. Okay, and now you pick up one listing off of that and you sell that listing. I mean, what's the minimum you're going to make? $5,000? I don't know, depending on where you're at, I guess, right? I mean, I know in my area it's a lot more than that, but in other parts of the country, yeah, I mean, maybe you're going to make $5,000. So this is one way to do this. Now, they have design services that you can use here. You know what? Here's what I like. Just go to Fiverr.com and say, here, categories, graphic design, and I've never put EDDM here. I'm going to do a search for EDDM. See if it comes up. Nope, no search results. Okay. Yeah. Check your mail piece for mailing requirements. Yeah, okay, so they're going to check it. But no. Okay, so let's go back to graphic design. And there's subcategories of it. So where's a business card? Other logo, Photoshop. Flyers and brochures, that's probably more what it's going to be under. Okay, and then what I always do is I check there's recommended and then there's high rating. Okay, so it depends on how quickly you want your stuff turned around. High rated ones sometimes take just a little bit longer, just because if they're high rated, they're probably pretty popular. Like look at this one right here. It's a featured one and it is a high rated seller. So if I go here and I say, I will design your awesome creative flyer design for you for $5. So you go download that template file size from gotprint.com, and when you go here and you order this for $5, then you can you can send him that file. Okay, and so do you want, here's some of the things you can do, and here's extras that you can order too. Yeah, so if you want, I'll give you the Photoshop files, design the backside of your flyer. Okay, so for another $5, they'll do the backside. Okay, so $10, give you the high quality print ready PDF file. Yep, you want that. That's $5, and I'll do your flyer within 12 hours. That's up to you. In one day, $40. That's up to you. But for $15 roughly, for $15, you can get somebody to design a really nice looking flyer. Remember, this isn't about it being perfect. It's about being out and in front of people's faces. And you know what? And maybe you get a $15 flyer. Maybe next time around you go, you know what? I closed the deal. I made $15,000 on that deal I closed because of EDDM. Now I'm going to go pay somebody $300 to do a really style and design for me. Okay, so that's the way to do it. Or you can go to Odesk if you don't want it. Now Fiverr, they're notorious for, okay, you scratch out on a piece of paper and you upload that piece of paper or an image of that and say, this is kind of what I want it to say. They're notorious for designing it the way they see it and then being done. Okay, so for 15 bucks, you get what you pay for, but you can always go back and ask them to fix things, and sometimes they'll make minor tweaks. But just don't expect it's going to be super high quality. If you do want high quality, you go to Odesk, or go to one of the other freelancer outsourcer websites, and have somebody create a flyer for you, and and maybe they charge you $75, $100, I don't know, $50. You might find somebody to say, yeah, I'll do that for $20. It's no big deal, right? So definitely take advantage of that. Or if you know somebody, there's probably a 12-year-old in your life who definitely knows how to do that. So all right, let's go over here. So how to use EDDM, we talked about that, getting the postcard out, and again, picking the right farm area to mail to. Because I'm just going to, at the end of this, there's a link down in the description area that I'm going to put in there that you can click on to open a new window. It's a YouTube video, so anybody can watch it, and I think that's about it. And actually, let me see the time. Okay, so you know what? I'm not able to at this particular moment get into answering questions, but if you put your questions in the chat box, I will answer them. I promise you. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you have questions about Top Producer and tpdeals.info, getting the discounts there, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you out. It is my reseller site, and I definitely have that. I'm also going to put a link to a video of an online farming tool. This is pretty slick. It's pretty cool. So go watch that video too and see if that helps you out as well. So anyways, okay, I got to sign off. Anthony Nids here. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you learned something. Just want to hear your thoughts, and go like our page at Agent Attractor on Facebook.com. And we'll talk to you real soon. Have a great day. Be productive. Make lots of money.